Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today, the Necrons face off against the Dark Eldar on this luscious battlefield in a Maelstrom of War mission. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to the report. So, 2,000 points of Necrons versus 2,000 points of Drukhari, Dark Eldar. We are deploying thusly, which is an open war deployment card. We like randomly choosing it. And we're playing Maelstrom of War, basic Maelstrom. So we have an objective in that forest. We have an objective here and in that little building. We have an objective by these sets of barrels. An objective by that head as well. So that is 6 objectives. I have chosen I've picked this deployment zone here, and John is going to deploy first, starting in his deployment zone. Let's look at the armies and see what we're facing, and we'll come back after deployment begins. 2,000 points of Dark Eldar led by Archon Skari himself. This is a brigade detachment. So what I'm running for 2,000 points, I've got Archon Skari, I've got a Succubus and a Homunculus in the HQ slot. In the elites, I have a Slith, who is bodyguard to Skari. I have a Beast Master, and I also have a unit of Cabalite Trueborn with 4 blasters. So, 6 troops for the brigade. I have 2 units of Cabalite warriors with blasters, 2 units of Raks with liquefy guns, 2 units of witches with agonizers, and then for fast attack, my beasts. I have a unit of 2 Clawed Fiends, 6 Chimera, and 12 Razorwing Flocks. While in heavy support, we have a Talos Pain Engine and 2 Triple Lance Ravagers. Air support comes in the form of a Void Raven Bomber with lances, and the dedicated transports with a Venom and 2 Lance Raiders with shock prows. That is 2,000 points. Let me know what you think down below as we begin this Maelstrom of War. And this is the deployment from the open war deck, which means it's going to get bloody quickly. Let's begin. 2,000 points of Necrons. John, take it away.
We have the Nihilak Tomb World joining us today. We have our Warlord, who is Trazyn the Infinite, accompanied by his retinue of Lich Guards, bringing in a Monolith with some heavy support from the Doomsday Arc and the Spider.
Yeah.
And bringing along his host of trusted overlords with Cryptek, 40 warriors, and 10 immortals who are running Tesla carbines today.
Very cool. So we're looking at 2,000 points of Necron menace. This is like from back in the day. Eldar or the Eldari versus the Necrons. Ooh, the old ones battled hard and then lost. Continuation of our last battle reports. Make sure you check the link down below if you'd like to see the first installment of our narrative. After deployment. But before the game starts, we get to deploy right up on the line as long as we're not 3 inches from the enemy. So things are going to get nasty quick. I deployed a large screen of Razorwing Flocks to a big block of Necron warriors. I've got some Cabalite warriors on foot and in the raider with some witches. I have a 5-man unit of Raks in the backfield holding off against a deep striking Monolith. We have both Ravagers and the Void Raven in the backfield with some beasts lurking over there. We have another unit of Necron warriors screening the Lich Guard while the Tesla Immortals are holding the center with an Overlord and a Cryptek in close support. And on the flank, a Doomsday Arc with a Spider trying to hold the flank against a Talos, the Raks, a Homunculus, my Warlord, Witches, Slith, and Succubus all in that Raider, the Trueborn in that Venom, and 2 Clawed Fiends coming up that flank. So, The Necrons did finish deploying first, so they will be going first. But will the Dark Eldar be able to seize the initiative? John doesn't want me to seize. Yeah. Okay, sir. So let's get this party on the roll. Do the Dark Eldar seize the initiative? Oh, that is a 2, and I'm not going to be using a command point reroll for that. So, moving on to turn 1. Maelstrom of War. Have fun, sir.
Good luck.
Good luck, and let the bloodshed begin. Okay, Necron turn 1. We begin the Necron advance with the warriors and the Lich Guard moving in to the center of the board, pushing hard into the Dark Eldar lines. Shooting from this flank saw the 2 Clawed Fiends die to a dedicated My Will Be Done Tesla assault, while this Raider lost 2 wounds, and this Talos lost 3 wounds, and this Rack lost 4 of his buddies. Having a brigade is pretty cool. I have 12 command points, so I've used 3 of the command points so far. 1 reroll on a Power from Pain kept him alive, which was pretty cool. Doomsday Arc just stayed still together with the double particle whip, particle beamer, scarab thingy, tomb spider, sorry. And then over here, this unit of warriors, 40 shots later, with My Will Be Done, killed 7 of the Razorwing flock. So I did spend 2 command points to keep them in the fight. The Monolith arrived on this flank and unloaded onto the Raider, taking 3 wounds off and killing 3 of the Cablite warriors in the woods. But other than taking first blood, there were no Maelstrom points taken by the Necrons. They have secure objective 4, defend objective 1, and assassinate in play. Let's move on to the Dark Eldar turn. Dark Eldar turn 1. So I was tasked with securing objective 4, which meant the Racks moved and advanced to secure objective 4. I knew that I needed to try and tie up these large blobs of warriors, which meant that I had to get them tied up with witches, so I did. Okay, I also was tasked with securing objective 3, but the Necron warriors still have a good select. They still have enough models there to stop me from taking that. And then I got mission critical objective. I rolled a 2, which is this one here. The warriors had it on turn 1, but I put enough models there to take it away for 2 points. So I will be taking 3 points this turn, and in combat I have the warriors locked in combat with a combination of witches and other close combat units. Now, in other news, the Void Raven Bomber moved over, bombed the Tesla Immortals, and did 10 out of 10 mortal wounds with its bomb, which was incredible. Just wiped them all out in one roll. And then the Talos did charge in and put a wound on the Doomsday Arc, tying it up in combat. So now we're moving on to the second turn. The Necrons have securing objective 4 in play. They have defend objective 1 in play. Now I did put 16 wounds on the Monolith with a combination of Lance firepower. It has 4 wounds left. And we're moving on to the second Necron turn. Lots of bloodshed. Let us know what you think is going to happen, and stay tuned as the battle rages on. Turn 2 for the Necrons. So the Monolith advance and try and take out these Cavalry warriors, but it is at its lowest tier, so it's hard for it to do anything at all. In combat, this Overlord charged into the Raider and failed to hit it with all of his War Scythe attacks. This close combat saw these Necron warriors kill another Razorwing base, but they are down to 4 models in the unit. While we move across to the other flank, where they have fared better. The Lich Guard and Trazyn the Infinite have charged in, killing the Succubus in close combat. Meanwhile, the Lich Guard have lost 1 of their models to the electrocorrosive whip from the Homunculus. The warriors did lose a few models, but nothing too damaging after coming back from the dead. On this flank, we did have the Doomsday Ark and the Spider move back and only put 1 wound on the Talos, while all shooting was ineffectual against the Flicker Field Venom. But the Necrons did gain a point for Assassinate. So they did get another point for assassinating my Succubus. And we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 2. I have secure objective 3, which is this one right here, and another 2 more that High Command will bring out. Turn 2 for the Dark Eldar saw the Monolith finally die as the Ravager took its last wounds. On this far flank, the Overlord that was exposed took a lance to the face from that raider and died a horrible death. 1 warrior is here. He's left alive. Too bad he is surrounded by the enemy. I do have defend objective 5, so this Ravager is attempting to defend objective 5. And I am starting to lose ground. My Homunculus did knock out 2 of the Lich Guard, but Archon Skari has suffered 2 more wounds and he has lost his Slith bodyguard. And the Witches lost 2 of their number. There's 2 Witches left. Now, in shooting, I did kill the Tomb Spider, and I did take 8 wounds off the Doomsday Ark, and he is in combat with that Talos, just because it slides down. While on this flank, the Trueborn have gone back into the Venom, ready to be a nuisance later in the game. So we're moving on to the 3rd Necron turn, and we have quite a few reanimations to happen here. Necron turn 3. So the brave Necron warrior on the top there bravely stood until all the Razorwing flocks cut him down. This Overlord has moved and secured objective 3 for a point. The Doomsday Ark did move back from the Talos, but did no damage in shooting since he is wounded to the 2nd tier. And then in combat, well, we had a couple of warriors come back from reanimation. And then they put 2 more wounds on this Raider. They killed Archon Skari, put 2 wounds on the Homunculus, and killed the Witches. So right now, all that's left is the Homunculus and the Raider versus the world. But we are moving to Dark Eldar turn 3. And it's been quite a bloody battle. I'm no longer able to get psychological warfare because my Archon has died. And I do defend objective 5 with my Ravager at the end of the turn. I still have secure objective 3, and High Command has ordered me to redraw that one because it's Witch Hunter. To area denial. So if you have no enemy units within 6 or 12 inches of the center of the board, I get points, which is good. Dark Eldar turn 3. So I was able to kill the Doomsday Ark with a lucky low damage lance shot from the Ravager. I did secure objective 3 twice because I used 2 command points to discard one of the objectives I had and redraw, which gave me another secure objective 3, which was nice. And I got area denial. So I did get 3 points this turn. This Overlord has taken a wound. Not that it matters, because he's just going to get it back. Yeah. And in combat, I did kill 2 more of the Lich Guard with the Electrocorrosive Whip. And that was pretty much it. My Homunculus survived combat, which was awesome. So now we're moving on to turn 4 for the Necrons, as this starts to wind down with one flank completely crushed, but with the main meat of the enemy force still at large. Let's see what they have to do this turn. Okay, Necron turn 4. So, the Necron High Command has ordered Trazyn to priority orders received, which just happened to be secure objective 2. So he simply fell out of combat and started looking for relics, and gets 4 additional points for the Necron army. This combat was a complete mess. The Lich Guard, none of them came back from reanimation protocol. This Raider has 1 wound left. This Ravager took a wound. And then the Overlord that was by Objective 3 moved up, charged into the Talos, and cut it in half because he was upset that the Talos had been doing so much damage around the backfield. So this brings the total points to 8 to 8. 8 points for the Necrons and 8 points for the Dark Eldar. So we are going to Dark Eldar turn 4. And let's see what High Command asks us to do. Dark Eldar turn 4. The beasts crashed into the big warrior unit in combat, and with morale and with the help of the Racks, they did wipe out the entire unit after morale. And the Cryptek is in combat with the Razorwing Flocks. Trazyn the Infinite did survive getting shot by a bunch of lances, but the Overlord on the far flank did die to the Blasterborn and the Venom, who took him down to his final wound. So I'm currently defending 3, and I did secure Objective 5 for another 1 point, potentially another 2. And we're moving on to turn 5, and we have a Cryptek and Trazyn the Infinite left. Let's see what the Necrons might be able to swing at the end of the game. Okay, as we wind down the game, turn 5. Trazyn the Infinite has charged the Racks and taken a wound to the liquefy gun. He did cut 2 of them down, but they are immune to morale now. And the Cryptek failed to kill one of the Razorwing Flocks. Now, they did order the Necrons to advance and get out of the deployment zone, which did mean that they got another point. Moving on to Dark Eldar turn 5, and I did defend 5. Which does bring up the Dark Eldar points to 1 more point than the Necrons have, I believe. Okay, on to turn 5. Let's see what it is. I have Secure 6, Big Game Hunter, which is try kill a tank, and Domination, which is to control every objective on the board. Dark Eldar, turn 5. And with that, it is game. So Trazyn the Infinite and his loyal Cryptek have been surrounded, but not before they killed the Succubus, the Homunculus, the Archon, and the Slith, and taken most of the characters except for the Beastmaster, because he's a tricksy little fella, into the labyrinth, right? Trazyn's labyrinth, isn't that right? Of the
yes, it is. Mind
Shackle Scarabs. No, we might have to see if they can escape with like a cool scenario. Okay, do you have any comments at the end of the game? This was your first Maelstrom of War mission ever.
Yeah, a few more feet on the ground instead of the tank probably would have been a good choice, but yeah, a little more anti-tank firepower would have been nice as well. So. Yeah,
with the heavy destroyers or something, right? Yeah, yeah. I don't think I lost a tank this game.
No, you didn't.
No, that raider was very close. But definitely anti-tank, like tanks in this edition are very strong. You need to make sure you have some semblance of anti-tank. And I was able to tie up the Doomsday Arc very early on, which really prevented it from doing the damage that could have potentially done with his D3 strength 10 damage D6 shots against my tanks. So that was a priority for me. But make sure you stay tuned for the Tactical Corner on Thursday night, where we release a tactical review of the game. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm really liking these beast packs. They're really cool. So let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for the game, sir.
Good game.
Good game. And we will return as the Necrons and the Dark Eldar saga continues. This is Skari. Out.